talk about Irise. Again, the Odu of the year, Ologbon Meji, Oturupon Meji, talks about family, Oturupon, Epon, the penis, the scrotum, Pon, to tie the baby on your back. It talks about the relationship between the children and their parents. The parents and their children. We pray that the baby is tied on the back well so it doesn't fall off. We pray that the baby isn't angry with the mother that she's biting her back. That's what they call it, backbiting. That's what we pray. So this Odu speaks of good relationships. This Odu speaks of fathers being good fathers. Or if you're in the realm of being a father, uncle, whatever, close family friend, be a good father. Be a good role model. This Odu speaks of that. Oturupon Meji speaks of that. So Oturupon. Ologbon Meji is the nickname. So it's dealing with wisdom. It's dealing with wisdom. How are we passing on information? And what are we passing on? Are we passing on Ire, good fortune, or are we passing on Ibi? And so because Oturupon Meji deals with ancestral energy, we have to really be conscious of that as well. Passing on. You guys that are into epigenetics and all of that, Ifa's been talking about this forever. One of my teachers, Mali Domo Somé from the Dagara, he said that it's in your bones. You feel it in your bones. You retain things in your bones. That's why Egun is so important. That's why all this thing of honoring ancestors is real. So Irise, and then I want to go to Isheshe. Irise, when we spray, Irise is the dew that comes and lands on you and brings blessing. So dew for us is a very, very powerful and special energy. Irise. So when you spray, or someone is spraying, now you know what that energy is. Irise. Wande Abimbola, when I was studying with him years ago, he was called the Awishe Niagbaye. Means a spokesperson for Ifa. You can look him up. Wande Abimbola. Amazing awo. He's 90s now? Yeah, he's in his 90s. An amazing teacher. He, in one of his lectures, he talks about Iriaimo. It means something that falls very softly and you don't even notice it. That's Irise. When you feel that. And Irise, dew is I don't want to say it's like an Orisha, but it's an energy. It's an energy that we call on. So anytime you feel that mist, that spray, that's Irise. And when someone is praying for you and they have Ashe on their tongue and they do that, now it elevates. It elevates. So awos are supposed to have good intent when they're spraying Irise. And once you begin to do that, the Ashe should change. All that Ashe should change for Irise. So again, staying with the Odu, we're talking about learning things. So I said the base is Oturupon Meji, Osa Gunda. Osa Gunda is in the creation story. It says Iri tu willy, Iri tu willy, Iri tu willy, Ko tu reke, Ko tu reke. Divapun Origun. Origun is the source. Origun is the source. Difapun, divine for Origun. Tien lo she ifa ibu orun oni aye nigba ijinji. Says, may the dew unfold. May the dew come easy. May the dew come easy continuously. This was part of the creation story. Ifa says that dew came to create us, to help in our creation. That's beautiful. Those are the things that we need to remember when we talk about Ifa. Things like that. Again, it's in Osa Ogunda. Osa on the right side, Ogunda on the left side. Osa Ogunda. And may it be so vast throughout the universe. Ifa says that the dew was part of creating the universe. These were the Ifa proclamation declaration for Origun, which brought Alashiwada Allah Shiwada, the one who brings good people together. Aishiwada is the opposite. Aishiwada means no good people. Allah Shiwada, Allah, Ella, Olo means the owner or the bringing of something together. Allah Shiwada. Iri say the dew is falling. Iri say the dew is falling. Iri to shelara obi latawa. The dew that falls comes from obi. So when we're using obi abata, you'll see people sprinkle water. They'll have the obi in the hand, they'll sprinkle water. That's iri say as well. So it plays a big part in what we do, sprinkling water on things, sprinkling water, that's iri say. You sprinkle water on your pots, that's iri say. You sprinkle water on your hands, that's iri say. Does that make sense? You understand? Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. So those are the things that we need to be learning and knowing about and sharing. And even the little ones, they'll pick it up easy. Little kids will just throw water on things and don't know what they're doing. They do, but they don't. They don't, but they do. Ashe? Bí ìrísẹ̀ ìríbáṣe ẹ̀wẹ́ òkòájí ọmọdé kí wọ́n omiṣi àgbàlagbà. Àgbàlagbà means an elder. Àgbàlagbà ara. When the dew falls on the leaf, the farm wakes up. No child will sprinkle water on an elder. No child will sprinkle water. It's kind of like disrespectful if you're doing that. But if they're doing it out of love, it's a different energy. But iri say. Again, Ifa is talking about the dew. And that's why we start so much with spraying the pots, spraying the iking, spraying your shrine, spraying the drum. It's iri say. So don't get offended if I'm spraying everyone. I'm spraying everyone. People aren't used to that. Sometimes you will see the awos use the, what's this called? Anybody know? Iru kere. Yeah, this is the horse tail, or sometimes it's a cow tail. The word means cow tail. But we will dip this in water and do that. We'll dip it in water. Sometimes it's sprayed with gin, but we will do that. Okay, so again, we're learning in Ologbo Meji, we're passing information on. So when you see priests with this irukere, they will be praying, and sometimes they'll put it in front of their mouth to push the ashe, forward. So these are important, and they are consecrated by priests. This is what? Iroke or Irofa. This is the tapper. We did a thing on this a long time ago when we were at the original space, like maybe almost 10 years ago, maybe.
You've done it several times.
Over and over again. We keep going over and over again. You see, it's a female. This is the tapper. So when we're tapping the tray, we're invoking Orumila and Ella to come and assist in our divination. So again, remember these things because these are the tools of the Awo. Specifically Babalawo. If you come from a lineage of Iyanifa, they will have the same things. The tray, the Oponifa, you can say Oponifa. This is the divination tray that we mark the Odus on. I'm not going to go into the whole symbolism and all of that, but this is the tray. At the top of the tray is Eshu's face. Eshu, very, very important. Eshu is always part of the mix. Always in the mix. And we respect Eshu like nobody's business. Oshe Tura is the Odu that incarnated Eshu, that Eshu speaks in. It's connected to Oshun as well. So the tray, when we're doing the divination, we're tapping in the center of the tray. The tray gives us the Ashe from Orun, Aye from your past and your present, and your future, and what's happening inside. That's just the basic piece. So when an Awo does divination, he puts Iyirosum powder on the tray, and that becomes where we mark the scripture, the Odu. Okay? Understand, yeah? So this is Oponifa. I'm showing you the divination instruments because now there's a lot of shenanigans on the internet and people are doing crazy stuff. They're doing like Not good. Not good. I don't want to get too many questions. I'll take the one. I'll go out to.
When we spray our Ikeen in the morning, do we open the pot or just?
You can do both.
Okay.
You can do both. You can spray your pot first, and then you can knock on your pot with your left hand, and then you can spray your Ikeen. Yes, those of you who have Ikeen. Yes, thank you for that question. So this is Isheshe. We wanted to wear the traditional pieces. We're going to do that like 3 times a year. So guys, start getting your stuff ready for the traditional pieces. Yeah, I'll give you. That's one of them. Yeah. So Isheshe is, matter of fact, you say that a lot, and some folks don't know what it means. Isheshe means the source, the primordial source. So when Fayome is saying we are Isheshe, we are Isheshe, that means that we're closer to traditional Ifa from Nigeria. Although there are offshoots of Ifa all over. I mean, I think I said before, maybe almost at least 10 different groups in Nigeria. Ifa is found all over wherever the Yoruba people are, but Ewe, Fon, I know I'm missing some people. The Igala, Urubu, somebody, Edo, gosh, I can go on and on. Igala, Nupe. There's many forms of Fa, Efa, Ifa, but the base is from the Yoruba. But the thing that brings us together should be Fa. Should be Fa. Instead, people start pointing fingers. Oh, the Ewe not doing it this way. Igbo aren't doing it this way. The Igbo have their own version as well. But the Fa should bring people together. And that's why we say, Orumila Ileri Yipin, the witness to our destiny. So that brings everyone together. So Isheshe, I'm going to do the prayer for Isheshe because Isheshe is a Wednesday. It's either Wednesday or Thursday, Isheshe Day. So all over Yoruba land in Nigeria, they're celebrating traditional Yoruba religion. They're celebrating. It's beautiful because it took a long time to get that. A long time to get that. So just remember that it's the 19th or the 20th. Someone will probably check me on that. But it's really important that we are honoring Isheshe. So this prayer is from Owanrin Ogunda, Owanrin Lotun, Ogunda Losi, Owanrin on the right side, Ogunda on the left side. Owanrin is 2, 2, 1, 1. Ogunda is 1, 1, 1, 2. So Owanrin Ogunda. Isheshe la babo. Difa fún Isheshe tí iṣẹ́ olórí ọ̀rọ̀ nífẹ̀ẹ́. Ǹjẹ́ kí ni Isheshe ẹni? Olódùmarè ní Isheshe ẹni. Isheshe lábàbò káìtẹ́míbò òrìṣà. Orí ẹni ní Isheshe ẹni. Isheshe lábàbò káìtọ́ni bí òrìṣà. Ìyá ní Isheshe ẹni. Say Isheshe lábàbò. Isheshe lábàbò. Nice. Okay. So when I point, you gotta do that. Kaiteni bo orisha, baba eni ni Isheshe eni, Isheshe lababo. Isheshe lababo. Kaiteni bo orisha, obo ni Isheshe eni, Isheshe lababo. Kaiteni bo orisha, Isheshe na baba etutu, Isheshe lababo. Kaiteni bo orisha, Isheshe ile iya, Isheshe ile baba, gbogbo wa ni ó wá láṣeṣe ẹbọ yìí, Isheshe lababo. Kaiteni bo orisha. Ifa says the ocean is filled to the brim, the lagoon is filled to capacity. Alasan is going to Asan, Alasan is going to Asan. The awo of the top of the rock. This is really cryptic. I'm going to get to the main piece. But Ifa says the elders thought the matter over and realized that it was no longer favorable. They used their mustaches to cover their faces. That's another story. And spread their beards firmly across their chest. These were the declarations of Ifa to Isheshe traditionalism. or the source. Every head of the Orokot in Ile-Ife, what is one's Isheshe? Olodumare, the creator, is one's Isheshe. Is Isheshe we ought to appease before appeasing any Orisha. One's Ori is one's Isheshe. Isheshe we ought to appease before appeasing any Orisha. One's mother is one's Isheshe. Isheshe is what we ought to appease before appeasing any Orisha. One's father is one's Isheshe. Is Isheshe we ought to appease before appeasing any Orisha. The male genital organ is one's Isheshe. It is Isheshe we ought to appease before appeasing any Orisha. The female genital organ is one's Isheshe. It is Isheshe we ought to appease before appeasing any Orisha. Please let us appease Isheshe. Isheshe is the father of all Etutu. That's Etutu is like Ebo that brings peace and calm. Ifa says the Isheshe is your mother's lineage. Isheshe is your father's lineage. May they all give approval to this Ebo. This is a prayer that we do when we're doing sacrifice, when we're doing Ebo. We're calling on all these energies before we appease any Orisha. So Isheshe is the primordial, the ancient one that we don't even know, but we feel. We don't know, but we feel. We feel something. So Ifa saying, what is your Isheshe? Olodumare is your Isheshe. Olodumare is your Isheshe. Your genital organs are your Isheshe. Those are the things that create life. That's what got you here. Your mother, your father are your Isheshe. But it's talking about way back, primordial. Like when we say Olodumare, Olo, the owner of the Odu, Mare, that is inexhaustible. Odu, the pot, Ikoko, the pot, Mare, the rainbow. Olodumare, 2 pots here, Ikoko. They sit and the rainbow comes like this, and you don't know where the rainbow ends or begins. That's Olodumare. Mare, rainbow, Mare, something that will never ever end. That's Isheshe. Isheshe will never end. And we'll never know the beginning or the end of it. We will never know the beginning or the end of Isheshe. But it's saying that is Onisheshe are people who are followers of Isheshe. Some of the elders say that Lukumi is Isheshe, Kondomble is Isheshe. We can go on and on. All this is Isheshe, but knowing the source is super important. That's why when you don't know where you come from and you don't know who you are, you're gonna have problems. It's easy for somebody else to put an identity on you. Easy for someone else to tell you who you are. How are they gonna do that? But if you don't know, they do it. And then when you don't know, you become defensive because you don't know. So it's important that we know what Isheshe is from all the different angles. That's why having Egun, honoring your ancestors and doing the research. Who on your family lineage was good at this and was elevated? Who on your family lineage was not? You have to know both. Like Fayomi always says, all your ancestors weren't bad people. And all your ancestors weren't good people. So we're trying to elevate them. So when we do the Isheshe prayer, it's very important. In traditional Yoruba culture, Thursdays is the day that we're honoring ancestors. It's Thursdays. But that's also looking at Isheshe. Again, Isheshe. So it's very important. We should give thanks that those folks in Nigeria were fighting hard to get this as a national holiday. Yes, I mean, we have to respect that. And then, like I said, respect the people that came here with the tradition, I mean here, across the water, that maintained it and kept it going in all its different forms. And don't let nobody tell you that African Americans don't have culture. That's BS. No. I'm trying not to go there, but that really steams me because it's not true. And the priests that came over here with the tradition, no matter where the boat stop was, they came here and maintained and upheld this tradition in an amazing way. Given the conditions, pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. But now we can go back, we can go back and fill in pieces and add on to what we knew and to what the ancestors have done. It's so, so important. I was talking to an Awo, friend of mine, Awo, that's connected to our lineage, and a couple other people in our lineage, actually, African American, that how important it is that we even understand that how this tradition is so amazing that we are dealing with entities. We could say Egun, we could say Egbe, we can say Ajagun Malay, all of that has been able to mount us or share with us when we're doing divination without having knowledge of all the Odus. I love my Nigerian family, but have to be careful of pointing fingers and saying we don't know what we're doing here, because we've been holding it down and doing good work here for a long time. And you have people that are doing work as therapists and couldn't tell you how to spare therapists back in the day, but they were doing the work. Big Mama and all them folks doing the work. Where'd that come from? So I'm saying that we need to understand how all these pieces work and not point fingers, because Spirit has been working with us in the best way. And Fayome and I have been doing research on Egbe, and we believe, and I think this information is getting bigger. Egbe has been growing and growing and growing. Egbe are your peers, your special club in a room that follows you here. This is part of your Egbe. This becomes part of your Egbe. And so we believe that when people are doing misas and seances and all that, that there's a strong Egbe energy in that. But we may see it as Egun, but Egbe is its own entity. Egbe is its own entity. The Iyami are their own entity. So Egbe Orun, your peers, your club, your family in heaven. Egbe Aye is what you develop here. And they should go like this. And that's a whole nother conversation. Egbe is very, very deep. It's one of my favorite things in the tradition. Very, 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 very deep. And Iyami is its own entity. Another deep, deep energy. But how that, I think that, and I feel that we've been blessed to be able to have those energies come and sit in with us. Sure. And come and sit in with us. So all of this ties in with Ologbon Mechi, with Oturupon Mechi. Sharing information and passing information down, but I'm testing, quizzing. The three things that Olodumare swallowed. Olodumare, I love it. That's why we're doing this. Imo, Oye, Ogbon. Olodumare swallowed them, and they vibrated inside of Olodumare. I have a tape of, maybe I shouldn't say it on Facebook. Somebody tried to break in my house and get it. It's a joke. What? An elder, Roland Abiodun, an amazing man. I have tape of him sharing this information with me. And Ifa says that Imo is what? Knowledge. Imo, knowledge. Oye, understanding. Ogbon, wisdom, like Ologbon. Those three things were part of creating the universe. Ifa says that Olodumare swallowed them and they vibrated. He was trying to meditate, or Shia, Olodumare was meditating, and the vibration was so strong that Olodumare couldn't meditate, couldn't sleep, because Imo, Oye, Ogbon were vibrating so hard, and he had to let them out. When they went out into the universe, that's when the universe began to form. This is one of the stories. It's very deep.
So deep.
It's very deep. Yes. I brought to you.
You want some of my blingy water?
Yes.
Well, I just wanted to tap into the idea of Isheshe, and we talk about it a lot. And I'm very clear about the fact that we practice Isheshe because I think it's really important to have the understanding that we are connected to the source. We honor the source, and it's accessible. Because there are a lot of people that will have you believe that, and I don't even know how people have the audacity to say this, but that in Nigeria, that's not where it's at. Other places retained it. That's ridiculous. Obviously, those people have never been to Nigeria, to Yoruba land, to see, to be initiated, whatever it is. But I'm not interested in that conversation. What I'm interested in is the way we do what we do. And I think that when you have access to the thing that is the core, you get the access and you learn from the core. And then you can go outside from there. So we're blessed to be a part of a lineage, the Adesanya family. That lineage is Ifa unbroken. And so I say it a lot because I think it's important. Circling back to this idea that, you know, when Baba read that verse, that honor your Ori, you know, Ifa is always giving us information in a way that is really practical. So honor your Ori, honor your mother, honor your father, honor your genitals. So it's practice. Ifa is not just this magical thing that when something's going bad in your life, you go and get tafa and then you leave it for the rest of the year until something else goes bad. It's practice, because what we're trying to do is align with our destiny and be good people. The thing about Ifa is that, and Isheshe, is that it gives you the tools to do that. So if you do nothing else but honor yourself every morning, and we talk about that, every morning you should wake up and honor yourself. How are you going to speak to other people when you haven't spoken to yourself? How are you going to say, oh, how's your day, when you haven't asked yourself how your day was? Like, you need to start with self, because every time you start with self, you're aligning with why you're here. And that's the most important job you have. The most important job, the reason you came here as a spiritual being, is to make sure you're aligned with your destiny. And then Egun comes and helps you, and Orisha come and help you, and Irumale come and help you, and your egg bear are tapping in. Everyone's coming to support you once they realize that you care about yourself. Because the ashe of you saying in the morning, I see you, I greet you. When you're greeting your head, you're also letting the universe know, I'm here, come and tap in with me. And that is what Isheshe is. Honoring your genitals means you're honoring how you came to this planet. At the very, very primordial core level. We can get into all the other things about when people feel uncomfortable in their bodies or not connected, but we're talking about you arrived and you want to align in a way, honor yourself. Baba always says, when you look in the mirror, you are seeing your Egun. Back. Even if you don't know their names, look at yourself, you're seeing Egun. So by honoring yourself in the morning, you're automatically, you should be tightening that string that we always talk about to your Egbe, and then you're strengthening your stance here on this planet. And then what does that do? The more you're a good person, the more you're honoring your destiny, then spirit starts to come and support. Thing is if you're not honoring yourself, sometimes spirit's like, they're not ready. If you're wavering, if you're hating on yourself, if you're just not honoring yourself first, it's hard for them to get to you, because that energy starts blocking things. So by honoring yourself every morning, you wake up, you're going like this as opposed to like this. And so Isheshe, the thing I love about Ifa is that the Yoruba language is so layered that Isheshe can mean this right here, and Isheshe could mean this right here. So it's important to look at the Odus, but then digest what Ifa is saying to you. Ori, mom, dad. Ifa's not saying the relationship with your parents will be perfect or has been or has not, but you still need to honor where you come from. So, anyways, that's what I'm sharing.
That's all part of it. I'm sitting up here with my daughter. That's Isheshe, that's Egun. This is an Egun that came back. So I was trying to do something right. and that's what we did. That's what we do. So prepare ourselves so that someone will want to come back to you. I'm trying to be the best I can, so those little grandchildren back there, their children will say, "Baba, we're going back to him." That's we wanna honor our lives like that. You know, honor our lives. That's what Iya was saying. And it's not easy. We're up here saying this, but you know, we got to get up and do our stuff too. It's not easy. And Ifa never says it's going to be easy, but it's about the work in. I talk about Awishe Abimbola. His son Kola Abimbola said Ifa is about practice, not about faith. It's about practice. You practice over and over again. I tell Ogunlade, come and play this rhythm. Ifawola, I say, come and play this rhythm. I don't have faith in them. My faith is because I know they practiced it and I know they can do it. That's my faith in that. I know they have practiced over and over and over again. Then your practice informs your faith. It makes your faith so strong, you know. So it's really, really important. Ifa says, Oriko da mire. You guys remember that? Oriko da mire. Ori bless me abundantly. It's Ori. Orilo da orisha. Ori threw all the Irumale in a particular place. Da. Ori threw them. It's talking about the power of Ori. It's talking about the power of Ori. Aleda. Da, again, the language has all these different tones. We had a Yoruba class the other day in our group from Nigeria. Aleda is the piece that broke off from Olodumare, is the piece of Ori that broke off from Olodumare and created you. Eleda, it also means to Eda. When you hear the person say Eda, it means the Ori that is still connected to Olodumare. This is what Fayomi's speaking about when she says that thing, that string, is the one that is here that is connecting to Olodumare. Ashe, does that make sense? Yes. So you never want to be separated from that. It may get a little funny, but not cut off. You want to make it boom. Emi, your breath, your spirit. Emi was a thing that didn't have a body, that floated, your spirit that went to Ajala Mopin. You guys know Ajala Mopin? The molder, the potter. Iping that molded our destiny. That's Ajala Mopin. We have a system, and it's in the language. We don't have to make stuff up. The language is already inside. Ajala Mopin. So Emi went to Ajala Mopin's place to get a good Ori. And some people's Oris aren't as strong or not as bright as others. So when you get here, you're trying to strengthen your Ori. You're trying to make your Ori seen, so to speak, light. That's what we're trying to do. And some of us have difficult destinies. Some of us do. But Ifa helps you understand why. It helps you walk the path to make it better. By the time you leave here, by the time your Emi leaves your physical body, you should have worked on being a better person. Yes.
And no matter how much anger you have, or how many bad decisions you've made, or like how many wrong turns you've taken, you never lose your connection to your destiny. Nothing that you've done in the physical world just disconnects you from your higher purpose or why you've come here. You can always get back in alignment with your Ori. Nothing can break that.
Wow.
So no matter how down you are, no matter how hopeless you feel, if you make the decision to stand up and start aligning, it'll happen.
You said nothing you've done disconnects you from Ori. That's important.
I mean, you're still walking around with your head on your shoulder. So maybe when your head falls off and rolls down the street, then I don't know. But
And that's in an Odu. The head fell off and rolled down the hill. That's in an Odu. Yeah, it is. Everything. So all these pieces, we said Eleda, we said Ori, Inu is your character. Inu, your character, your inner self, your character. Oriode is your outer head. And again, I'm not going to go too deep, but that's your outer head. Ifa says, may my character not spoil my destiny. Ashe? So we said, Emi, your spirit. That's why we touch in divination. When you're doing Ebo or divination, you get a reading, you touch it to your head and you touch it to your chest. Because sometimes your head rejects. We're praying that your spirit doesn't reject it. Or Okan doesn't reject it. Ogigi. Anybody know Ogigi? Ogigi is your shadow. But for us, shadow is not your shadow self. It's negative. That is not Ifa concept. I'm telling you, it is not. It's not. That's something else. I'm not slamming that, but I'm here to share Ifa. Ogigi is your shadow, and it is your recorder. And it records everything you do on the planet. And when you go back, Ogigi is right there. This is what Fashegun did. This is what he didn't do. And also for our woes, if you are a diviner, your tools also work with Ogigi. Because my tools will go and say, oh, when Mike Jones came to see Baba Fashegun, they will tell the story. It's serious. These are entities. So they work with Ogigi as well. So Ogigi is not evil, it's not negative. Ogigi comes here, and this is what my Baba told me, Falolu Adesanya Woyade, said that Ogigi comes here to protect us and also record, especially things that we can't see. That's why Ogigi can work in the dark. You know, so if you're doing things in the dark and you're trying to hide, Ogigi is still there. Ogigi collects that and sees that. In the light, Ogigi is here to protect us. Ogigi is here to protect us. Ogigi comes, your shadow comes from Orun with you. With you. And there's a whole deep thing around Ogigi. But it's not negative. It is a collector also of negative energy. Ogigi can do that. It will collect things so that it doesn't hit your body. You know, Okun, Ogigi works with Okun. Okun is darkness. Ogigi works with that. So again, Ogigi is protecting you. Ogigi is not negative. Okay? Ashe? Ashe. Eniya ni diorisha. It says, that says, Eniya ni diorisha. Human beings become Orisha. That's so important. That if we can become Orisha, how powerful are we? Makes you think about who you are and how you want to move in the world. There's Orisha, then there are Irumole. But human beings, Orishas, were human beings that did incredible things. And we elevated them. Or people elevate them. Some people say, I'm trying to be an Orisha for my family. I said that, I think, last service. I want to do such good things that my family honors me. On my birthday, they're eating what I like to eat, whether they like it or not. Drinking what I drink, wearing clothes. I mean, we're always doing that. Human beings are really trying to elevate people in their families. That's the thing that we're trying to do. So that's why it's important to know who someone is. Know who they are. Know who you are. Know who you are and say, let me work on this, let me build on this so that I can become Orisha, the selected head. Orisha, the selected head. It's really, really important. If you're just working on that, like Iya was saying, you said something, something you do doesn't, what did you say?
Disconnect you.
Doesn't disconnect you. It doesn't disconnect you. And sometimes it's hard because, sometimes you can do some terrible things or things that you think are terrible. And you start to disconnect yourself from spirit. It's not a thing of the Orisha being angry with you, Olodumare being angry with you, Egun being, they want to see you win. There's no Orisha that wants to see you lose. They're not. They always want to assist you. But if your head's out of alignment, they will come in. And we say this all the time. They will come in like an intervention and take over. And sometimes Egun will do the same thing. And sometimes things may seem like a punishment. I worked with someone years ago who was not doing good things in the world. And Ogun came in Ogun came in and took this person's life over and put them behind bars. Put them behind bars. Ogun said, I put them on this side to protect them and protect the outside people. Bars are iron. Ogun came in and did it because this person was not doing good things in the world. I mean, like, really not good things. But again, I had to be a diviner, and I had to read them and get them on track. That's why once you move into this, you have to be careful why you want to do it. You really do. Because if you want to do it just for ego, you're going to get so many people on your mat that's going to make your life miserable. And then you have some people that have the ashe to do this, that are maybe therapists that have the ashe to do this, and learn the tools properly of this. Because there are people that are trying to switch the tools and say they don't need this, they don't need that. I would never say I know more than Orunmila. This system has been around a long time and it works. It works. If you are a therapist and you're doing that type of work, I can tell you this will enhance your work. Am I lying to the therapists in the room?
No, you're not lying.
Thank you.
Say it.
Say it. Thank you.
It's true.
Seriously. This will add so much, and this goes for anything that you're doing. Ifa will enhance it. It's not going to make it worse. It will not make it worse. But Ifa will enhance it. And like I said, the therapists, we have a lot of therapists in the Ile, but they're quiet and they're very humble. And that's how I know that this system is powerful, because people who know a lot of stuff, they come in here and they're very quiet. We have some brilliant people in this Ile that are doing a lot of stuff. If I had to pat all y'all on the back, I'd be doing it forever. So, love yourselves up, seriously. Because life is kind of tough, but there's also a lot of beauty in it. And Ifa says that. I gotta find that Odu and I'll post it about the beauty of Ifa. So, making sense so far?
Yes, Baba.
We here. We wanna learn and we want to grow. Iwo Orisha, Emi Orisha, Orisha Dameji, Adibora, Difafunori Ti Torumbo Waye. Ifa says, you, the deity, I, the deity, Emi, you, Iwo, Orisha Dimeji, Edibora. Ifa says, when we were coming to be divine, when we were coming from heaven to earth, Ifa says we were coming here trying to do that. Not everybody. Some people come here with just bad intentions. And so those are sometimes our teachers. Ifa says that we all have to walk Ona. Who's heard of Ona? 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 Raise your hand, it's okay. Ona, not very popular, only like 3-4 people raising their head. Ona is a special deity that is the road. Ona is the road. Ogun was Ashiwaju, the one who was leading before we came here. Ogun had to do special ritual with Ona, the road, our path, to make sure that everything was open and would go as smooth as possible. You know, Ifa's always talking about the struggle. Ifa's always speaking of the struggle, but how do you struggle? You know, how do you struggle? How are you in the struggle? So Ona is a spirit that assists us. That's why you will see people pouring water on their path. Pouring water. Did I tell you guys a story about my Eve teacher, my voodoo teacher? And someone told me that he was an alcoholic. You guys heard this story? Yeah? Can I tell it again?
Yes.
So, I'm not going to mention his name, but he, beautiful. I don't even know if he's still alive, but a beautiful man. I was studying drumming from him, but then it moved into studying voodoo with him. I'll try not to get into that too much. So, he was from Ghana, and some folks had said that this man was an alcoholic. So that was stuck in the back of my head. So be careful what people tell you about someone else and you don't know them. Be very careful. That came up for us a few years ago in Odu. So someone had put in my head that this man was an alcoholic and blah, 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 all this stuff. So I went, I had a lesson with him, I'm working with him. Then we finish, and he goes, wait a minute. He goes to his cabinet, and I'm going, oh, shit. He pulls out a bottle of liquor. And I'm going, oh, man, he's going to make me drink, and we're going to get drunk. And I'm going through this whole thing in my head. He brings it out. He pours it in the glass. And then he tells me, follow. He goes to the front of his house, and he pours. I'll never forget it because he had carpet. And he poured it on the carpet, and you could see, you know, it wet the carpet. So I was like, oh, and it's a path. And he started praying for me. And I was like, wow. I had that he was going to drink, he's going to get drunk. But this man did a prayer to Ona for me with the jinn. And everything he prayed for came to pass. He did the same thing for her too. Sure did. Can I tell just a little bit?
I'm like, which
What
story
part?
is this?
He made her drink a cup of water. I thought he was just being polite. This is a different time. He made her drink the water. He prayed into the water, made her drink it. Then when he took it, he poured it on the ground. And he read her from the way the water formed on the ground. Am I lying? Totally accurate. Yeah. So, you know, we don't need to make anything up. There's so much knowledge out there, information, but we go bit by bit. So again, Ifa's talking about our ability to elevate. That's what Ori is all about. And we pray that, the ancestral work, that they're assisting us. And like I said earlier, some ancestors are not going to get in your business because some things you have to go through in the physical world by yourself. And there are ancestors here that are connecting with people. You never know who's sitting by you, who's Agun, and says, I could probably help them. You know, you don't know. I try to be nice to everybody because I want as many behind me as I can get. I want the support of people, especially those spirits that are elevating. And we've talked about this. We're going to get into this deeper when we get more into Agun. But the bigger pieces is talking about Olodumare, our relationship with Olodumare, our relationship with Emi, with our spirit, and our relationship with our Ori. It's really, really important. There's a lady, Sophie Bosede. Sophie Bosede Oluwole. She wrote a book that Fanera loves, Orunmila and Socrates. You guys heard of that book? Orunmila and Socrates, a great, great book. This woman is amazing. She passed a few years ago, but very knowledgeable. Professor Sophie Bosede Oluwole. Yeah, look her up. She has just little snippets of her interviews, and she's talking about Olodumare, she's talking about Orisha. Really, really, you guys will like it. You guys will like it. So we talking about Isheshe because of the source. The source. And we talked about who is your source, what is your source. But in this case, we're also talking about the source in Yoruba land, but also respecting the ancestors that are here. That have evolved and that have done some things. Now, when we talk about Condomble Lukumi, I think I was talking to Boston about this. We're just amazed at how much has been maintained in the diaspora. And that even goes for the folks here in the States, the Hoodoo family. People have done some amazing things. I've been to Trinidad twice. And one of my most powerful things was when I was at a shrine in Trinidad for Oshun and Shango. I'm telling you, amazing, amazing experience. So I don't slam what's on this side of the water because folks have done some amazing things. I talked about Baba Felipe. You guys know Baba Felipe who passed, Ibaye. He did ritual for us that was amazing, amazing. And we thought, we like, man, this is straight. Like, looks like we're in Ode Remo. Amazing. So people have maintained, but don't listen to that stuff. I'm sorry. Don't listen to that stuff saying they forgot back home. Or they don't do that anymore. Nonsense. I'm telling you, it's nonsense. There's stuff and knowledge that is still there that will blow your mind. Concepts that will blow your mind. And so the fact that we get a chance to have access to that is amazing. That we have access. So our ancestors aren't playing. They said, we're going to hold this here until you guys get a chance to go back and make the connections. Now, can we modify things? Can we have a bit of creativity? Yeah, but to totally change a system without really knowing why you're changing, if it's just from ego or because you're a lazy awo, not meaning babalao, but just a lazy priest, that's different. You know, there are people who are literally saying, we don't need this, we don't need that. That's not correct. This is a system. It's a system that is layered and has pieces to it. So it's very, very, very important that we're careful with that. And then when some of you guys have studied the Condomble system, the Lukumi system, but then you come to Isheshe, you start to see some other pieces, especially when you begin to learn the language. You're like, wow, this is really, really deep. So we're blessed in Ile Rumila Fedefeyo that we respect what has come over here and how people have been moving and grooving here. We respect that. Or else we wouldn't be able to survive. This tradition is so amazing. And man, if you guys knew the people, and I'm just talking about from me, that have come to Ifa for help, I'm talking about people that we consider celebrities, that are politicians, that are carrying the cross. They come and do this. But they won't speak of it in public. But this is medicine. So Fayomi and I used to talk about this all the time. People are just coming for the medicine, but they don't want the practice. Different things. I've learned how to be okay with that because all they're doing, maybe they're setting up something for the next lifetime. So I'm good with that. But just when you come, just be respectful. That's it. Just be respectful. There's in Isheshe, we will talk about other traditions, but there is no combat at them. My Baba that initiated me, Ibaye Baba Desanya, Enilo Runoda, he talked about Osamechi. Allah Alafia, Allah Alafia, Allah Alafia. Osamechi is the Odu that incarnated Islam. And he talked about Christianity and Islam. And he said that they come from us. The Abrahamics come from us. From Judaism to Christianity, Islam, they come from Ifa. This is what he said. And he said we should respect each other. But he laughed. He said, but we won't. He laughed and said, we won't. I have it on tape. He laughed. He said, but we won't. But he said we should always be trying to respect each other and learning more. But he was very, very clear about the base of things and respecting. That's why you'll hear Ifa people say all the time, oh, that's Ifa. Oh, that's Ifa. Oh, that's Ifa. We do that a lot. We do that a lot because we see. But the thing is we should do our best to learn, and I know you guys are studying, but that's why I'm trying to share Odu and all of those things. Instead of learning all these different rituals, learn just the base. We said Imo, Oye, Ogbon. Those are foundational pieces for Ifa. Imo, knowledge. Oye, understanding. Ogbon, wisdom. We're trying to receive knowledge, not information, but knowledge, so that we can understand, and then it becomes wisdom. Ashe? Imo, Oye, Ogbon. Imo, Oye, Ogbon. Those things, again, they vibrated within Olodumare, and Olodumare had to let them out. So that stuff, there is Imo, Oye, and Ogbon in the universe. And we all have access to it. But how we work it depends on what? Character. Iwa launwa, iwa. Say iwa. Iwa launwa, iwa. Iwa launwa, iwa. So that's the story about when Orunmila was married to Iwa, his wife, female energy. And Orunmila wasn't, I think this is Neji Ogbe. He wasn't treating Iwa well. And there's different versions of the story. And she left him. His life fell apart. He went back to Olodumare, and Olodumare said, what's going on? He said, Baba, my life is terrible. Everything's not good. And he says, where's Iwa? He says, Baba, I wasn't treating her well. I was mean to her. And he says, you need to go back and find her. So when Orunmila came back to Aye, he was looking. He went all through the town. Iwa, Iwa, Iwa. Iwa, Iwa, Launwa, Iwa. Character is what we're looking for. Ifa says when you treat people poorly, you're mean to them, you do this, you do that, not good things, what do you lose? You lose character. Iwa, Iwa, Launwa, Iwa. Ifa says that's what we're all looking to do. At least that's what we should all be looking to do. Iwa, Iwa, Launwa, Iwa. So again, Ologbon Meji, Oturupon Meji is about passing information on and sharing information. Oyepolu was the one who didn't know. Oyepolu's family was really, really strong with Ifa and Ile-Ife. And the family members died in Oyepolu. There's different stories, but one of them says the family members died, mother and father passed. And then they said, let's ask Oyepolu to come back to Ile-Ife to do the ritual. And he didn't know what to do. So that's what Oturupon Meji speaks about. Oyepolu not knowing. So he had to ask the ancestors to come and help him in the ritual. So Ifa says that we have access to learning things, but then what is your relationship with your ancestors? If you're taught that your ancestors weren't good, you have bad experience with family members that have passed on, how do you handle that? How do you deal with that? So the thing is to keep the connection. And they don't want to lose a connection with you. They do not. But when you start, I'm gonna change my name, I'm not connected to this, that's when it starts. That's when it starts. And when people can't identify that lineage, whether we're talking about nationality, race, ethnicity, but all that's part of it. But when you can't identify your family, you know, and I've had people that have come and sit on the mat that have been adopted, and man, when they start working with Ifa, it just opens up. Or when you hear folks who they start getting on the internet, things open up. They start doing the research. The ancestors are going, yes, here they come, yes, they're coming. They're waiting. They're waiting. And then you have some that want to find a way to heal some of the fragments that they left here on the planet. That's what we're dealing with now.
Can I share what someone
Yes,
will
yeah.
tell me?
Oh, okay, so say who Sobanfu is.
So one of my elders, when I was young, I don't know, maybe, when was Dazier born?
30 plus years ago. Almost
So-
35 years ago.
So Bonfo Somé, Malidoma Somé's wife, first wife. She always said your ancestors are like kind of hovering and waiting for you to call them. But until you do, they're just gonna kind of mind their own business, if you will, or just be around. But as soon as you start calling on them, they come closer because they're ready. But she always explained it as this energy of they're just kind of hovering and waiting until you really are calling them in intentionally. Obviously, they're not just not going to be there, but when you call on them with intention, then they're like, yes, we've been waiting. And so it's, I don't know, it's always stuck with me, that visual of them hovering. And like Baba said, when you get to the point where you start talking to your Egun, when you learn their names, when you know who did what, everyone always say, oh yeah, you grandma so and so's baby because you do this like her. Everyone has that thing. But the more you lean into that, the more they show up for you. And I just always remember her saying that. She wasn't saying it in English at the time, but I think it's a really beautiful concept to call in, to that when you call them in, they come and show up.
Ashe. And it's not easy when you've lost someone, and we say lost, but really they just adjusted to something else. But it's not easy. It's painful. It's very, very painful. And that's why I love Ifa, because Ifa is always trying to connect us with that. And we have rituals that do that. We have system that does that. But some people, they have more energy in that area than others. And that's why you have people that are mediums and people that are doing ancestral work. They have it naturally, and they build on that. It's an Egun is to prepare your family for your passing and your coming. Coming means your children, your passing when you leave. Ifa says that we're here to elevate. The Egun are elevating and inspiring us. They guide, they heal, they help us remember. That's the other thing. You know that during the transatlantic slave trade, they had Africans walk around a tree. You guys know that, right? Had them walk around a tree to forget. That's deep, because Ifa has Igi Igbagbe, the tree of forgetfulness. Ifa has that. Ifa has that. But the Europeans, when they were doing this, they had these folks walk around this tree. Some of you guys know the story. To forget, that's deep. That's really, really deep. To make people forget something, to forget who they are. Anytime you cut someone off from the family, that's what you're doing. Or when you are in a family that you don't necessarily like. This is for anybody. I'm not talking about race, nationality, anyone. You say, I don't want to be part of that family anymore. There's somebody in your lineage that doesn't want you to do that. There's somebody in your lineage that wants you to heal that. So that's they're bringing this energy of healing to us. So the other day when I was writing my notes for this, I was watching gymnastics, and I was saying, okay, what I'm watching women's gymnastics. This is like a week ago, and I'm sitting writing my notes for this, and I said, okay, I want to talk about Egun, and a lady came up on the, she was talking about this one gymnast that was having trouble. And she said she has to go back and remember to learn how to correct things. As soon as I was thinking that, this lady comes on and says that, and I said, that's Egun speaking to me right there. They said, we have to remember them so that we can correct things. She said the exact same, I said, okay, this is an accident. I don't need to go throw my shells and say, were you really talking to me? Sometimes you know right away, you don't have to do that. You'll drive yourself nuts, you know. So that is when divination becomes part of the everyday thing. Spirit will come and speak to you right away. And then the beauty of it, Fayomi's always saying, but we have the tools. So the tools are found in the readings. The tools are found in cowrie shells. The tools are found in orogbo, bitter cola. The tools are found in obiabata, four-lobe cola nut. Those are the tools that we use so that you can streamline things, so then you don't have to question so much. But after a while, you will get to the point when your Ori is really clear and Egun are working with you and Egbe, you'll know. You'll know. But the divination is a science, and it's a tool that keeps you on track. That's why Oyepolu was supposed to go and learn the system. People that don't learn a system, they start making stuff up. And then if it works a little bit, then you take it and run with it. But then you'll run into a jam and you'll be in trouble. And that's what we're seeing now. People, a lot of folks, their egos are big and they don't want to learn. They don't want to learn. And this is in anything. I see it in a lot of different communities, you know. But you have to go and sit. You have to go and sit with elders and then read and then study. The stuff is right there. It's right. It's so amazing. So amazing that we have Odus that can still share information with us. We have so much. So we're talking about Atunwa, which means to return, to come back. Atunwa, A-T-U-N-W-A. What's the time to block so they can slap the drums?
1:11. I mean,
Ooh.
sorry, we've been sorry.
Okay.
No, sorry. We've
Scared me.
been doing this for an hour and 11 minutes.
Okay,
Sorry.
everyone's good? We're winding down. We're going to get Ashe from the drums, but I just want to share a few things. Otunwa is to return, is to come back. Atumbi is to be born. B is born. Atumbi is to be born. So we have the concept of coming back. And Ifa says, what is the energy given to those in the past who committed negativity, who committed evil? What energy do we give them? Because that's energy. And that's what I'm talking about the fragments. When you pass, there's fragments of your spirit that stay here. That's why people say, I can feel them. I can feel them. That's why you can go into a room and somebody had just been fighting 5 minutes before. The room's super clean, but you can feel something's not right. You go to buy a place or rent an apartment, and the landlord don't tell you there was a murder in here. They won't tell you. Why? Why? Because they know energetically that there's something not right. There's something not right. And that's why we have rituals where we're doing cleansings. Every single culture has some type of cleansing ritual. Every culture has it. How deep it goes, that's another conversation, but every single culture has it. So there are fragments that Egun leaves, that people leave, and it can be good or bad. And what happens is we become the host for those pieces that are floating. And that's why when you get in a certain environment and you can feel it, when people start arguing and talking, you start to feel it and you're like, I gotta go. I can't be around this anymore. Or the other side is you always want to go around when people are laughing, somebody's laughing, joking. What y'all laughing about? What y'all talking about? You want to be part of that. You want to go and feel that energy. You know, energy is an amazing thing. And that's when Alashiwada shows up. So if I'm saying that we should be leaving E-Ray where we go, not E-B. You don't want to be the person that people got to look through the peephole to see who it is. Damn. See who it is. There is an Odu that talks about when the peephole was created. Seriously, there's an Odu that speaks to that. And it literally says how the person was tiptoeing to the door because they didn't want to answer the door. Right? That's deep. So how do people feel when they see you? How do people feel when you leave? This is also part of Emmy, and this is part of our work with Egun.